So in this video we'll see startup culture post the pandemic crisis. So currently we are going through a pandemic, that is a COVID-19. Okay, so once this thing settles down or we move back to our ways of living, okay, so then there will be new types of startups or a new startup culture that will evolve through all this crisis. So one major factor to all these new startups cropping up would be that most of the people post this pandemic will be unemployed. So there will be startups that will start but not pick up, and there will be some startups that might work really well. So it totally depends on what kind of startups they are. So now we need to prepare a master plan to create startups that might work post the crisis era. So what type of things do you really think might work post the pandemic era? So you have to make a list of those things if you are into startups and stuff. Okay, if you are into jobs and stuff, then do your thing. Okay, there's nothing wrong with doing jobs, but the problem is here that jobs will be scarce, and the scarcity is most probably going to be prevalent till the mid or the end of 2021 as well. Okay, because people, the cycle has been broken. Okay, so newer jobs were going to be created, but now companies are facing multiple problems. So the newer companies have to evolve in such a way that they can make themselves immune to such pandemic or any type of crisis that might occur in the future. Okay, so now the major problem that most of the companies failed, that they did not have a remote framework to start from. Okay, most of the IT industries did not suffer much because they are usually trained, or you can say usually they work in those sectors only. Okay, so they are used to working remotely through variety of softwares and stuff. Okay, but other things that did not have remote solutions suffered badly, like the governance solutions. So now that there is a need for making things remote. Okay, so in the digital era there are still things that are not being converted to digital platform. Okay, so that is what is holding us back. Okay, so if you are starting out, try to build solutions to digitize things that currently are not available on the digital platform. Okay, so rather than strictly sticking to things like e-commerce and stuff, you could digitize things that are currently not available. Okay, so that is a very big market that's open to you post this crisis era. So this might actually help people to establish their businesses and making things work in their favor. Okay, so this is what I think should be done. And another thing that I remember, or I can recall, that most of the startups that started post the 2010 are suffering really badly in this crisis. The reason being, most of the startups do not actually have any profit in their balance sheet. Okay, so it's all the pumped up money through investors and stuff. Okay, so that money is now dried up through this crisis. Okay, so what they're facing is great loss, and now they might wind up post this crisis. So you will have another window of opportunities to fill in the blanks. Okay, so another thing that startups should remember is not to grow too fast. Okay, growing too fast is too bad for their own health. Okay, so if they remember all these few things, then maybe I guess the startup culture is really good. Okay, at least in India we have a lot of opportunities to turn startups into success. Okay, so if these few things are kept into mind, then I guess we will see a lot of successful startups post this COVID era. Okay, so that's what I think, and thank you for joining me. Yes.